Is motivation really a step-by-step journey? Or is it something more dynamic, something that shifts as our needs and circumstances change? In response to Maslow's well-known hierarchy of needs, psychologist Clayton Alderfer proposed a more flexible alternative, the ERG theory. In this video, we'll unpack what ERG theory is, explore its three core needs, existence, relatedness, and growth, examine how it applies to the workplace, and discuss why it matters for leaders looking to create motivated, high-performing teams. What it is and how it works. Developed in 1969, Alderfer's ERG theory condenses Maslow's five-tiered hierarchy into just three categories of core needs: existence needs, relatedness needs, and growth needs. Unlike Maslow's model, where needs are fulfilled in a strict upward progression from basic to advanced, ERG theory allows for more flexibility. According to Alderfer, people can work on multiple needs at once, and if higher-level needs remain unmet, they may regress to focus more intensely on lower-level needs. This is known as the Frustration-Regression Principle. In other words, motivation isn't linear, it's fluid. That makes the ERG model especially applicable to real-world business environments where priorities shift and employees don't always follow a neat motivational ladder. Each need explained. Existence needs. This category covers the basic material and physiological requirements for survival. It includes things like salary, job security, safe working conditions, and employee benefits. If compared to the Maslow's work, it will correspond to the physiological and safety needs, levels 1 and 2. In the workplace, that means fair pay, a stable job, safe working conditions, access to resources. When unmet, employees are anxious or distracted. Essential for retaining entry-level workers or employees during crisis situations. Relatedness needs. These needs involve meaningful relationships, social connection, and a sense of belonging both with colleagues and the broader organization. It includes collaboration, recognition, feedback, and interpersonal support. If compared to the Maslow's work, it will correspond to the love/belonging and esteem, levels 3 and 4, interpersonal aspects. In the workplace, that means teamwork, mentorship, inclusive culture, supportive leadership. Drives engagement, collaboration, and morale. Especially important in hybrid/remote environments where isolation can harm motivation. Growth needs. These are the intrinsic desires to learn, improve, and realize one's potential. Growth needs push people toward meaningful work, personal development, creativity, and mastery. It includes collaboration, recognition, feedback, and interpersonal support. If compared to the Maslow's work, it will correspond to the esteem, individual achievement, and self-actualization, level 4 to 5. In the workplace, that means autonomy, challenging goals, stretch assignments, promotions. Fuels high performance, innovation, and leadership potential. Often overlooked in rigid roles or bureaucratic environments. How it applies to business settings. Alderfer's ERG theory is a valuable lens for understanding what employees need at different stages in their careers or during organizational change. For example, a new hire may focus on existence needs, stability, pay, onboarding support. A team leader might prioritize relatedness needs to foster collaboration and influence. A high performer may be frustrated by a lack of growth opportunities and begin disengaging or job hunting. What makes ERG especially useful is its recognition of regression. For example, if an ambitious employee feels ignored by their team or manager, they may stop striving for growth and instead seek validation or better working conditions. Managers can use ERG theory to diagnose drops in motivation and adjust accordingly, whether it's through recognition, development plans, or operational changes. Why leaders must understand ERG theory. Understanding ERG theory helps leaders adopt a more realistic and responsive approach to employee motivation. It encourages them to move beyond rigid models, recognize that needs shift and overlap, detect regression early, address dissatisfaction before it leads to disengagement or turnover, personalize motivation, tailor rewards, support, and challenges to where employees are, build resilience, support team members during setbacks by strengthening lower-level needs. ERG theory is especially valuable in fast-changing business environments, where leaders must balance performance with empathy. Pros and cons of ERG theory. Pros. Flexible and realistic. Reflects the way people's needs shift in response to life and work events. Simplified framework. easier to remember and apply than Maslow's 5 levels. Practical for leaders, helps diagnose motivation issues and personalize development plans. Culturally adaptable, avoids the Western individualism bias often present in Maslow's model. Cons. Less granular, merging 5 needs into 3 may lose some nuance. Difficult to measure, like many motivation theories, it lacks precise metrics. Regression principle can be misused. Leaders might assume employees are less ambitious when they're just unmet in other areas. Conclusion. Motivation doesn't climb, it shifts. Alderfer's ERG theory is a modern, flexible take on workplace motivation. Instead of assuming that people climb through needs like rungs on a ladder, it acknowledges that motivation ebbs and flows, shaped by circumstances, relationships, and opportunities. For leaders, this theory is a reminder that listening, observing, and responding to individual needs is far more effective than applying one-size-fits-all solutions. Whether someone is seeking stability, belonging, or personal growth, understanding their motivational state can unlock higher performance and better engagement. Because when we meet people where they are, not where we think they should be, motivation follows.